Hello, everybody, and welcome to Viva Alive. And today I'm here with my dear friend and colleague Daniela, and our conversation is about being you. And that's such an interesting idea because what on earth does that mean? And how do we go from being us to not being us? So, Daniela, what is your interpretation of being you?
Hello, hi everybody. Um, in my perception, we spend our entire lives learning how we should be, but you learn to please, to meet expectation, not to disappoint sometimes, and we move away from we what we natural perceive. Being you is not a discovered identity. I think. It's stopping trying to be what you never were. Being you is not a personality, but it's a state of presence, which in your choice come from awareness and rather than conditioning. Yeah, this is something that you perceive. It's like you expand for you.
That's a really great way of putting it. And how I see that, my interpretation of being you is when you see, if you can remember, like when you were a kid or when you see kids, it's easier. When you see kids, like that's a really easier one to do because a lot of us, I can't remember anything, including what was I when I was 3 years old. But when you see kids and they're being unrelentlessly out of control, they're running around, they're having fun, every moment is an adventure, and they actually don't judge themselves as to what is going to happen, what they're needed to say, what they're not needing to say. And there's an energy about of aliveness that comes with that. And I think that that for me is like the best example because when we start to learn rules, learn how things are done, learn how to, be like our parents by objectivity. A lot of that stuff about us being and being ourselves disappears with the solidness of needing to do what's right. To your point, Daniela, the expectations of what is required. It's almost like we disappear as people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We accumulate beliefs, family partner, social expectation, experience that share the way we think.
Yeah. And so, how can we invite people to be them? Like, how do you, because if you look at, if I ask almost anybody, they're at work right now, they might be doing things or listening to this and they might be going, well, am I actually being me? Or how do I be me when I'm at work, where it's very serious?
Yeah, it requires courage sometimes. Yeah, courage to disappoint expectation, uh, change direction sometimes, um, and requires presence. You know, when you live on autopilot, we simply repeat partner. Being you requires trusting your own perception.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. So, and I think about that if I were to go, how can you be you at the office? Let's try that just for fun. One of the things that I know that takes us out of being us is judgment. So you go to the office and you show up, and now you have to look a certain way. Well, that's your choice how you choose to dress and stuff. And then you go into a world that's contracted, and people like do judgment of themselves. Did I say the right thing? Did I actually answer that email the way I could have answered it rather than just going, okay, is this really going to work? Is it working? And another great question is, what will it create?
Wow.
So the awareness of like, you can't, here, let me go to work and smoke something, drink something, and don't pretend it matters because there are things that do from this world for a lot of scenarios matter. But one of the things that we do that's incredibly unkind to ourselves is judge ourselves. And that for sure keeps us out of the greatness of living as us, as being, and making sure that we judge actually, I think people mostly they judge every word before it even comes out of their mouth.
Yes. Yes. Wow. That's important. It requires let go of judgment. And
Hmm.
comparison is one of the fastest way to abandon yourself. I think being you, it's a daily, choice to honor your awareness, your energy, and your truth in your life, in the office, and everywhere.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and that's true. And the other thing I think that I would add, I mean, being in the office is sort of that's like probably the most serious, other than being with your in-laws. Um, but it's like, are you having fun? If you're being you, do you think you have more fun?
Yes, yes,
If you're
sure.
not being you, do you have more fun or less fun?
Exactly. I think there is a simple indicator, lightness. Lightness does not
Mhm.
mean absence of challenge, but it means expansions. Expansion. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. And the idea that we can actually be in we'll call it more serious environment, like being at the office, and have a lightness to how we're doing things is really, and do it where it is that it's working for us in a way that really works, then it doesn't take us out of being, which is that aliveness, right?
Yeah. There is a sense of space, clarity. Yes.
So, what questions? You know me, I'm the question queen. What questions can we share with share with people today that to start off? So in the office, what question can you ask? If you want it to be, it takes a lot, just as a side note, a lot less energy to be you than to not be you. Use a ton of energy against you when you are not being you, when you're judging you, like a ton, which is probably why people get so tired halfway through the day. Oh my God, how much judgment does it take to wear myself out by 2 o'clock?
Wow.
So, what is the questions that we can start to ask? From what is it that you share with people? Like, if they want to live from lightness and they want to live from being them, what questions can we
Yeah.
share to start with?
How much of the energy we spend trying to be who others expect me to be, for example, could
Mhm.
instead be used to create the life or the truly I desire and I want to build in my job or in my office and my family.
Mhm. So being seen as something, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So what question can we share with people to give them a sense of how they can get out? They can be them in a scenario that requires a certain way of being, we'll call it, a way of showing up, and still be them, and so they don't collapse into the world that they live in.
Yeah. What if by being exactly you, you were the change the world needs?
And that is a great one. because people duplicate the world around them. They basically see how everyone else operates. Even in an office, you start a job and now you duplicate how everybody in that office does things, how they communicate, how the rhythm of things go. Then everyone's like soldiers. They follow each other. And being different now means that you're different. But being different is the thing that actually gives people freedom because they go, oh, that person is so being so different, so joyful, so them, so whatever, that it invites other people to do it.
Yeah.
So when I think about the world, everybody standing together like soldiers, they all look the same, do the same, be the same, eat the same, start the same, stop the same. But that's not really who we are.
Yeah. Yes. I think when the choice is made from the obligation or
Uh,
the need for approval, contraction appears.
Well, and how can you do it so that you get it so you don't estrange people? I don't know how that translates, but make people go away because you're being truly you. Like some people go by example. Maybe I could make that more clear. Like people go, well, I was rude to that person because I was just being me.
Wow.
We've all seen it, right? Like as if they had the rights to be rude or be abrasive with somebody, as though it was their right to do so. But it also creates separation with that person and anyone else around them at the same time. So it kind of works against them.
What kind of separation we can create for that with that?
Which, I'm sorry, say that again.
What kind of separation we could create in this situation?
What kind of separation or kind of unseparation?
Yes, yes, and separation. I think it's the best.
Okay. So if there is something that you want to make clear that somebody has crossed the line, that would be a normal scenario where somebody is aggressive towards somebody else and how my question always is how could it be done differently? How can you communicate with the person like that doesn't, I'm sorry, like with kindness. I am sorry. Whatever this is, it's just not working. How could we do it differently? Now, do you think that would rattle the other person's world? Do you think it would invoke change in how they are operating? Which one will create the most change? Giving somebody what
Mm.
for being a certain way, or being so kind when it's really not, it would take the person by surprise.
Yeah,
And because it does not meet the expectation of how it's supposed to work when somebody is, being dramatically unkind with you, and now you come back to them with kindness, then they don't know what to do with it.
exactly. Yeah.
And so I would say do the opposite of what you would normally do. There was this old, on that note, there was an old cartoon about what's a definition of stress? And it was this cartoon with somebody having their hands around the neck of a chicken or something like that. And it's about um, holding, the definition of stress is holding back from strangling the shit out of somebody who definitely requires it. But those scenarios come up where it's like,
Yeah.
and you being you with the automatic reaction would be, I actually really, really would love to like, if you were being you. But you could also be you and go, wow, how could we do this differently? And just drop every judgment you have about the person,
Um,
about what's going on, be present to your point, because Daniela, that is such a good point. Be really present with them and then deliver a message that's like, how can we do this differently? It's so not working from the energy of like no judgment, like this is going to change. And then does that get rid of all that stress anyway?
yeah, I think the creation is different. The relationships are as with this being you. I think you have to be courage to be yourself, and you become the grace that source of the creation in your life, and you stop trying to be others expected to be. And in my relationships, I'm talking about me because I'm an example for that. I stopped to expect it to edging to do what different person needs to be done. And yeah, I think it's changed for me. I create more space with that, and people could feel more kindness of me. I don't know if
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
open
No,
to.
yeah. And it's kind of funny because we get these personalities or ways of handling things that we get used to doing, or we have an idea about what that looks like. And then we show up like that. And it's not even fun to do it because there's so much contraction in it. And I can think about when I first started doing podcasts as a neuroscientist, and it was really funny because people would ask me to go on these podcasts, and I would make sure not a hair was out of place, that I was the scientist, the neuroscientist, showing up like perfect, and as if it was the way that it was expected of me for people for people to take me seriously. But it didn't make them, it just like I look back at pictures and podcasts I did, I was like, that was so not fun. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun for the people on the podcast. It wasn't even fun for me.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, about this idea about having fun again. Because, being you, is that like when we are having fun?
Yeah. And BU is not a destination, I think. It's a daily
Being you is not a destination. That's so funny.
it's a daily choice to perceive, to question, to create, right? To trust your own awareness, even when your path looks different from everyone else.
Yeah, yeah. And so, what is the question? I keep on thinking, like, what question can we leave with people, like, to check in and like, am I? Because it's such a foreign concept. Am I being me in this moment? Am I actually really functioning as me, or am I functioning from how the world expects me to show up? What's the kind of easy questions that we can ask people that will give them a sense of that? Because we mirror the world around us and then come back to being as crazy as we are and the joyousness that we are
Mm.
in and I see it as, I get serious and then I don't get serious. And I know that for me, when I'm laughing, I am being me.
Yeah, yeah. And when we stop trying to fit in that, we begin in that space, small space,
Yeah.
we begin to contribute more, most authentically to the world, I think, to
Hmm.
people, to our friend, and yeah, to your family.
Well, and you think about it. So if you were being you, like when I think of like when I'm being joyous and having fun and looking at things and with that enthusiasm, to me, it's a field of information that starts to have other people start to be that because it breaks the solidness of the contraction that people function from. So if we're willing to be us and, function from that joy that we have that we're hiding, trying desperately to hide as much as possible so we can fit in. But if we were to not have all of that, then it starts to shape the molecules of seriousness. How much more interesting would the world be if we were all enjoying life
Yeah, yeah,
rather than making the world be a certain way?
exactly. Yeah, yeah. For example, people who innovate are more often those who trusted their own perception. I think being ourselves expand more ability to create for us and for the world, and in the innovation in our life.
So when people are being innovative, they're being them. Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying? Okay. That's an interesting one. I never considered that. So, what question is it that would inspire people to be more of them?
Okay. If I no longer need to meet anyone else's expectations,
Hmm.
who would I choose to be today?
Okay. Wow, that's a great question. Who would you choose to be? Which version of you would you choose to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one. Okay, so what question can I share? If if I was truly being me, what would I choose right now?
A good one.
Yeah. And sometimes that question pops into my head when I'm sort of going, do I want to do this next? Would I like to do this next? Or what am I going to create here? And then I ask that question. If I was truly being me, what would I choose right now? And that gives me a sense of being present to me, not the what do I need to do for the exterior world, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
And how much more fun can you have if you were being you?
Yeah. When when are being you, you are a gift for the world.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And there's one thing I wanted to touch on that just keeps on, it's about when we are judging ourselves. Like, did I do that right? Am I good enough? Does this person like me? Do I need to adjust myself so that they like me better? Is the feedback I'm getting from the person the right feedback so I know I've said the right thing? Like all of those things that we do in a microsecond, even before it shows up. But it actually totally takes us from out of being because the judgment is the thing that stops us the most.
Yeah, limits the creation.
It limits everything. Actually,
Everything.
it's the killer of everything.
Yes.
Judgment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's killer of you being you. How can you be you and judge yourself at the same time? Like, how
No.
is that possible?
But it happens a lot.
So, is there anything else you'd like to close off with before we end, Daniela? Anything else about
No.
being?
Yeah. Just being you and be happy.
Okay. Be you and be happy. Well, I think that if I were to use a measurement like that I measure, but I go, okay, if I were to know that I'm being me, am I happy? Yeah, that's me. But, and for you, it could be something different. You know, some people being them is sitting playing the piano in quietness. You know, it
Not
doesn't have to be this, I am out of control. Like everyone has that sense of what's truly being them. So enjoy. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We'll see you next week on Viva Alive. Bye, everybody.
you. Bye.